And I'm like, we give a lot, and he's just like, Angel, the more you give, the less you need recognition for. Oh. And that really hit my heart because I'm like, dang, that's exactly who we are.
Aloha, welcome to Hawaii's Best podcast. Learn the stories behind Hawaii's best experiences, influencers, and businesses. Discover everything that makes Hawaii the Aloha state. And now your host, Bryan Murphy.
Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best, where we explore Hawaii's best experiences, businesses, and influencers and hear the story from the people behind them. I'm your host, Bryan Murphy, and thank you so much for joining me today. To stay up to date on future episodes, hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, drop a rating and a review. Totally appreciate that because that just helps other people find this podcast and this conversation about Hawaii. This episode is brought to you by Shaka Guide. And Shaka Guide is a GPS guide right on your smartphone. And what I love about this guide is on a recent trip to Maui, we used this guide to guide us around the west side of Maui. We were able to explore places that we've never have experienced before. It's a great guide that guides you through all the different islands because there are many different guides and tours to explore on all the islands. And what I love about it is a turn-by-turn directional GPS app, but it also gives history along the way. So there's different waypoints as we're driving through Lahaina and Kaanapali coast. There was just so many different locations and waypoints I didn't realize were so historic on the island of Maui. And that was just one of the tours that we got to explore. So in talking with the founder of Shaka Guide, Andrew, he was on a recent episode. He's given our Hawaii Best listeners a free guide. If you go to livehawaiisbest.com/Shaka, you'll be able to download the app right there. And while I was on Maui recently with Allie, my wife, I sat down with Angel Doane-Mau from Maui Tropical Plantation, which is home to the beautiful mill house located in central Maui. Angel and I talked a lot about the history of the mill house and the history of the surrounding area of Maui Tropical Plantation. And we also talk about what's next from the mill house in Maui Tropical. In our conversation together, you'll learn more about what Aloha is and what it looks like in action, especially on Maui. And through Angel's perspective, you're going to get a great understanding of what it means to live with Aloha every single day. My time with Angel was so much fun, and I can't wait to go back. We talked for a long time, and this is just a portion of our conversation together. We had tons of time off air that just didn't make it into this episode, but what we did capture is incredible, and I hope that you enjoy listening to the history of the mill house at Maui Tropical Plantation as we talk story with Angel. Angel, thank you so much for hanging out with us today on Hawaii's Best. And you're part of the Maui Tropical Plantation, who's home of the mill house, the infamous mill house.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Aloha.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is going to be fun. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what your role is here at the mill house.
My name is Angel Doane-Mau. And I first of all want to say a happy anniversary to you and your sweetheart.
That's right.
Allie is a sweetheart. So thank you for introducing me to her and congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm born and raised here on the island of Maui. My roots go very deep. In fact, we trace our genealogy back to the second canoe to Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And however, I'm a Hapa girl. My mom was a beautiful California girl and she met my dad out in the Hana jungle and that's where I've been raised.
There's a story.
Yes, exactly. So I lived all over Hawaii and home is where I am. And so I am here at Maui Tropical Plantation. I am their community outreach liaison and I love what I do.
Right. So Maui Tropical Plantation, the mill house just happens to be a part of that, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Maui Tropical Plantation encompasses the plantation store, Kumu Farms, multiple zip lines, roasting company, Maui Chef's Table, quite a few amenities here on property.
Right.
However, my absolute favorite, and yes, our shining star is the mill house.
Okay. So the mill house has been a part of this area for some time. Maybe tell us a little bit about when it started and how it started, the vision behind it.
Yes, definitely. The mill house has been here like you said, for quite some time. However, I remember coming here when I was really young, and I'm 28 years old now. So I remember coming here to feed the ducks at the lagoon. I know all my classmates did as well, but the mill house was very casual. It was buffet style, very low key, and there wasn't as much of an emphasis on sustainability or storytelling, at least not the way we do now. So it is a huge part of the mill house is storytelling about Hawaii's sugarcane industry, about all of the immigrants that came to Hawaii and has made Maui their home. In fact, we're sitting on an old plantation camp.
Okay.
And right down the road was the original Wailuku sugar mill.
Right.
So quite a few historic pieces have been saved and repurposed into the mill house for us to learn more about our history. And what's nice is we're serving our food mountainside, and we are nestled in central Maui in Waikapū Valley. Mm-hmm. Such a special valley. It's part of the four main waters, which is Waikapū, Waiʻehu, Waiheʻe, and Wailuku, the four great waters. And so it's a gathering place for water, and the mill house is the gathering place for families and for local farmers, as well as all the culinary creations that honor our multicultural heritage.
I love that. Maybe we can spend some time there.
Yes.
Someone's coming to the mill house for the first time, like me. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And obviously you're taking in this beautiful scenery, and it's amazing. But there's something that we want our guests to walk away with.
Yes.
What is that? More than the memories, but talk a little about what you guys want your guests to walk away with, speaking about the culture.
Yes. I'd say that we are setting the stage to spearhead sustainability as well as honor, yes, the traditions of all the immigrants that came over. My tutu man was Pake, is Chinese. And so he came over during the sugar plantation days. And with this wave of immigrants, they brought all their culinary creations, which our executive chef Taylor honors in quite a few of our dishes. So I'm saying, okay, Bryan, so you're coming up for the first time. You're greeted by our lovely hostesses. You see an exquisite sugar room with Edison hanging lights. You see pieces from the original sugar mill. In fact, we have uncles that come in and, point at the wall and be like, I used to wear that for my uniform, and like, it's not far off, it's still in our generation. And they make that personal connection already. Mm-hmm. And beautiful, soft lighting. And then you can go into one of our 4 dining areas and you see the original sugarcane train that used to transport the people to and from the community to the sugar mill. And we are just looking up into Waikapū Valley and overlooking a lagoon and eating what's freshest off the farms.
I love that, Angel. And before Allie and I, and yes, we are celebrating our anniversary, and we're also doing some work too and hanging out with amazing people like you. So this is great. This isn't work. This is amazing. This is just connecting with amazing people.
Thank
that's
you.
life.
Yes. And we get to help celebrate your love.
I love that. So we were talking just before our trip over to Maui, and we're like, okay, there's so many people visit the islands.
Yes.
But there's something about stamping a passport that you become a little bit more aware of the culture. Say, if you have a passport in hand, like, okay, you're going to another country, you're going to another culture. However, that same rings true when you come to the Hawaiian Islands.
Yes.
Technically, it's a state of the United States, technically. But there's a huge but there.
Yes.
Now, what are some etiquette that you want people to know about Hawaiian? That's a huge question.
Huge question.
But what are some, just the quick takeaways? Like, someone's coming to the islands for the first time and there's a respect there.
Well said. Well, first of all, we as Kanaka or Kanaka Maori or native people of this land were raised to love selflessly and love without expecting anything in return. In fact, how aloha is our greeting, our farewell, and it's a verb. It's who we are. And so every time, I love when people visit Hawaii. I love when they choose Maui no ko'oi. That means the best. I love when they choose Maui because they see how the culture is still so intact, and it's through the people, and it's through our choices with sustainability, with our resource management, with what we're doing with our land, with how we are taking on tourists or guests or malihini as a responsibility. Like, you came here with a purpose, you saved up, you are bringing your family, you're bringing your other half, and you become our responsibility when you step off the plane. And so it's our kuleana to mālama everyone that comes here. However, in return, I do believe that for me, how I was raised, aloha means you leave a place or a person better than you found them.
Right.
So, you know, jumping in and asking questions and showing that you care and you want to know more about, you know, why is Maui different? Why are you different? You know, and why is this place different? So I do believe that's why I work here at the Mill House and Maui Tropical Plantation, is because we exemplify that. I love that, you know, I'm born and raised here. Pamela Shepard, Henderson, she is our lead director of events team, and she's a Kanaka. And then our executive chef, Taylor Ponte, haiku boy, UH Maui graduate in the Culinary Academy, you know. And so it's nice to have so many kama'aina who are passionate and refined to show this is what the evolution of aloha looks like. And I do believe that we are that place to see it.
Right. I love that. And you talk about generations to come too, right? You a little bit about leaving it better than you found it. Like, it's no accident that the beauty of Hawaii has sustained for so long. It's passed on to generations.
Yes.
So I think it's all of our, if you enjoy the islands, even if you're coming for a visit, it's all of our responsibilities.
Agreed. I do believe that we want you to experience Maui in her fullness, and to go places and to have set apart experiences that you can't have anywhere else. I mean, it's literally God took a slice of heaven and dropped it in the middle of the Pacific. You know, all the different ecosystems that you can experience, and to it's no accident. And then he placed this people here to be the torchbearers, to be the ones who have that responsibility. And it looks different on every single island. And if you care to ask and to seek and knock and find, you will find.
We could stay in this conversation all day.
That's great.
So let's talk more about the Mill House. It's amazing food, but also the whole experience here.
It's such an experience. I say this, it's so funny because when I first walked up the walkway, I didn't know that the Mill House was here. And I'm born and raised. And I'm just like, what is this place? I finally heard about it. And from walking into the dining room, I said, I need to work here. There's a standard of aloha that I believe resonates within me. I want to be a part of this. I believe in what they're doing. So I actually started off working in the restaurant and enjoyed every bit of it. They train their servers to understand wine pairings. It's fun because even as a guest, you come often, you'll know, the servers will know your name, and you'll sit next to the farmers, or like, hey, Kupa'a Farms, what are you up to with the composting plan? You know, and like, what's your next direction for sustainability? Or our bartenders, are you sure this is made from scratch? Did you seriously grind up this macadamia nut with this bourbon, you know, with some passion fruit, and I'm drinking, you know, a little bit of Christmas, you know, so it's special. The food is fantastic. I have a few favorites I love to tell you. Let's see, the roasted eggplant. And I was not an eggplant girl. Now I am. They roast it in a kiawe wood oven. They do a light miso on there, so it kind of glazes over and plumps up. I've never had bone marrow until I worked here, and it's piping hot, and they herbed up, and you scoop it onto pita with some dip, and it's
forget about it.
Oh man. And we actually, I mean, our cattle are up on the hillside, you know, and our owner actually brought the cattle. Like, there's so much aloha that our owners have that just trickles throughout the company. In fact, one of them, they take us up into Waikapū Valley, especially new hires, because they want them to see this is where the water starts. This is our vai. This is our source of life. This is how it feeds our crops. And then from there, you know, the chefs say, this is how it ends up on your plate, so that the server understands there's, you know, what goes into the soil is pono. What comes out is pono. What we are putting inside our guests is pono. And so we are honored in that. And of course, I got a few other favorites, burger fish sandwich, taro leaf risotto, hand-cut pasta.
Just to name a few.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And so no matter if you're just coming for a pauhana or happy hour or your anniversary or a girl's day or even bringing your keiki, they love it. And we feel very proud about what we're serving our guests.
Speak into a little bit more about the experience around the property too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. So experiencing Maui Tropical Plantation, it's so conveniently located. We're only like 15 minutes from the airport. So guests are wanting to make us their first stop. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, we're the gates of Aloha for Maui. Here we go. We're going to start them off right. And then so many guests actually leave us for their finale as well. And so we get the blessing to send them off with literally a sweet taste in their mouth of Maui. So coming here, they can jump on the Tropical Express tour. And that's, a tram tour that features Hawaii's famous fruits and flowers and seeing what's in season. And nope, pineapples grow on the ground. Sorry, they're not on trees, friends. But, they get to see how everything grows.
What's crazy about that, I posted on our Instagram account, I just posted like, hey, here's a field of pineapples, right? Just like, oh, it's beautiful, right? It's like Maui pineapples. And like the comments, we had like 200 comments. I didn't know pineapples grew like that.
Funny.
It's crazy.
It's so funny. Yes, it's true. And they take over a year to mature.
Right. Yeah.
And so people don't realize, man, these are little, field candies that are so special. And so they see everything from coffee. They see it, and then we invite them to taste it at the mill house. You can zip around the property on zip lines. You can go ridge to ridge to ridge on a separate zip line, flying Hawaiian. One of my favorites is Maui Chef's Table.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay. Maui Chef's Table. This happens every week. Okay. It's an interactive dining experience. It's elevated. It's communal seating in a private open-air venue where our creative chefs get to showcase their talent in front of you. Oh, and then they invite you up to ask questions, take pictures, talk story. Like they express every technique. And this is for the foodie that wants that memorable evening on Maui. And it's what's coming in fresh. So we can't tell you what's on the menu until the day of. And so you got to be open for the adventure.
I would assume at the Chef's Table, you get to hear more about the property and how everything has grown. And what are some ways that you're doing that? Maybe you don't get the experience at Chef's Table. Now, all this behind the scenes stuff that is happening that is so important.
Yes.
Because it's all connected.
Yes.
But if you're just coming to grab a burger, say, what are some ways that people can take in that history?
That's such a good question. I've been in food and beverage for 10 years, and being able to answer such a light question like, hey, where is this beef from? Or hey, this eggplant, or what is this, sugar cane and my cane and grain? Like, this is delicious. Asking the server.
The servers
Isn't that awesome that the servers, they understand the responsibility to the guest and to their position, that they get to share, okay, so this sugarcane was grown on property. In fact, Dane Dostert and Ryan, they're leading our sustainability program. They initiated a composting program. Look at these straws. They're literally hay. And it's so cool because our lead server is actually the one driving the tractor through the fields to maintain their sustainability projects. So multifaceted, but we're all so talented. And I'm so thankful because for the vision of Maui Tropical Plantation and the Mill House is creating jobs, creating homes for Maui. And so right next to us, in this office next to us, there's Brittany. She's the controller. She's overseeing a multi-million-dollar property, and she started off at the Scoop, the ice cream shop right over there. Now she's controlling everything. Great. Myself, I started as a busser, and now I get to go out into the community. I get to bring gifts. I get to present business partnerships to companies who keep that standard that we have as well as, again, like Jamie. Jamie, she started off as a barista, just deer in the headlights, our lead server, and definitely Executive Chef Taylor Ponte. We're just so proud of him being a Maui boy with vision and being on bringing something so different than anyone else does. So starting in one area, but Maui Tropical Plantation, the mill house, gives you the platform to expand and grow and see your vision come to fruition.
Angel, what we're talking about really here is leadership. And you talk about how your servers know just the journey of the food and how it's prepared. And that takes vision, that takes ownership. I mean, that's leadership right there. And just talking a little bit about how some of you guys here have worked your way up and have been a part of this family for so long. That's amazing. And I think with leadership, there's vision, right? And you're thinking, they're always forward thinking, okay, what's next? What's next? But always taking gratitude in the moment as well and appreciating the moment.
Yes.
But there's always that little nagging, okay, what's coming up next?
But it's bigger.
It's always bigger.
There's no ceiling.
Right?
Yes, I agree. And it starts with our owners.
Yeah.
It starts with our owners. It was their vision. And there was people that were just waiting for the right, there's us, waiting for the right leadership to come along. Mike and Albert, they've been our owners for a few years now. And then Francesco, our general manager, came into the picture and he just pumped up the volume. Man, that Italian man has more aloha than me on some days, But anyhow, yes, they are our leaders, but they allow us to grow into those positions of leadership. And so, yes, like we were saying, the servers, knowing where the food comes from, understanding wines, all the educational classes that they prepare us with to really elevate the standard of service, makes us leaders in our own regard. But like we were saying, the direction and the bigger vision of this company is how we are starting off here. We'll be faithful with this, and then it means that we're going to be given more to be faithful with. So there's, a beautiful community that we have to look forward to being built around us. And that's why they called this restaurant house. That's why house is in the name, because it's the gathering house. It's the mill house. It's intentional. Exactly. And that's where we're going. A community, we're supporting Maui and we're supporting local farmers. One of my favorite parts about the restaurant is that Chef Taylor and, our other amazing creative chefs, they're going out into the community and they're like, what do you grow? Hey, you know what? If you're growing this and this is the time to grow it, we're going to figure out a way to utilize it in these dishes. They're using canoe crops that came from, during the first navigational travel here. So incredible. They're able to use native plants and, and our canoe crops. But we've watched farmers start with 1 acre. And as we've grown, their demand has grown. And so now their farms expanded into acres and acres and acres. And so we're able to invest in the community, into the economy, and just keep it alive and growing. And so we're always inviting our guests to discover and celebrate Maui's agricultural bounty. This is where.
It's beautiful. The moment that Ali and I stepped on property, you could feel it. You could just feel that aloha, and you just felt like at home.
Yes, that's what we want. Yeah. That's what we want for our guests. And, there's kama'aina, there's malahini, but it's reflected everywhere. Yeah. So we want people to leave better than we found them. And I do believe we make that happen every single day. And so if you're kama'aina, just keep coming back, my friends, because it's we're investing in you. And we love our community, and we give selflessly. I do see that.
Love that selfless giving. And it's amazing how when you're faithful in the small things, how you see the blessing of more. But sometimes it could be, maybe it's not tangibly more, but it's more aloha. It's more love. Sometimes it's more gratitude. Sometimes that's the way, how come this isn't going as fast as we want it to go in our time?
Oh man, every day.
Exactly, right? And you have to submit to the timing and keep at it as well, and keep knowing that what you're doing is the right thing, showing selfless love, no matter what.
And something Francesco actually had to teach me personally. He's saying how I was going through a learning lesson in my position as an Aloha ambassador. And I'm like, we give a lot, and he's just like, Angel, the more you give, the less you need recognition for. Oh. And that really hit my heart, because I'm like, dang, that's that's exactly who we are.
Because the moment you give out of expecting, out of obligation,
it defeats the blessing. Yeah, it defeats the blessing. And so this is a special place, and we have lots of visitors. We have lots of kama'aina that come, and we need all of them, and we aloha all of them, each differently. Yeah, take them as they are and feed them. Yeah.
Well, Angel, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else that you would love for us to know more about the Mill House and this beautiful property?
You are welcome to celebrate and again discover Maui's agricultural bounty. Let us be the ones to welcome you first and send you off with a fond ahui ho, which doesn't mean goodbye, just farewell for now until we meet again.
That's it. Well, how can we find you guys and more about the Mill House?
Yes, of course, on Instagram and all our social media platforms, but www.mauiTropicalPlantation.com, millhousemaui.com, jump into Chef's Table, just have fun discovering, you're across the Pacific, and come visit us soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bryan.
Aloha.
Mahalo.
Well, I just want to thank Angel again and the Mill House for their hospitality and for showing Allie and I a great time. But more than that, I hope that you enjoyed this conversation, and I hope you got a little bit more understanding of what life is like in Maui, and specifically Central Maui, where Maui Tropical Plantation is. To find more info about the Mill House, go to our show notes, livehawaiisbest.com/episode 019, and you'll find all the links that we mentioned here, and you'll also be able to find out more about the Mill House. Well, until next time, guys, be well. Aloha.
Thanks for listening to Hawaii's Best Podcast. To stay up to date on future episodes, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram at hawaiis.best.